Happy Mardi Gras! And welcome to another episode of Tales from the Parade Route. Tonight we have the very special honor of interviewing with our brethren of Friday nights. As y'all know, Kirk and I ride in Krewe of Excalibur.
You can wear my shirt today.
So we have Laron and Tori from the Krewe of Symphony. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
So I know that y'all's first role was, 2020?
What we in now? 20. We're going
This
into
will be 24.
24.
Yeah.
So it was 22.
No, y'all rolled.
Because
I thought y'all rolled
23.
just
No, 22 and 23. Yeah. This will be our third year.
Oh, I thought that y'all rolled the year before the.
No, we didn't. We
Okay.
started getting it back together
Okay.
in 20.
So I do know that y'all do have, history way earlier than.
Correct.
Than
That's
that.
what it is. We started back in 2008. We only had Mardi Gras balls. I did 4. And then once my business started growing bigger than the club was growing, and one of my hardest things was trying to get a permit into New Orleans. So when that didn't go through, I was just like, well, I'm going to focus on the costume business. And that just grew and grew and grew and grew. So I was like, okay, we'll come back to the Mardi Gras club, to the parade itself in the club. But the 4 years we had it, we were growing then. So I just kind of took a little back step for a little bit and then said, it's time for us to come back.
All right.
What was the inspiration of the club to begin with? Was it just a bunch of like-minded people that wanted to start a new crew? I mean, what?
Well, actually, you talking about now or then?
Just then, and the origin.
I've always loved Mardi Gras. I've always knew I was going to have something to do with Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Just didn't know what it was going to be. I kind of figured I was probably going to be a captain when I found out what a captain was. But then kind of this costume thing kind of side swiped me. So then it really brought me into the field. So that was one of the reasons. So it was more of me, and then my friends and my family kind of just came along. They was like, hey, if this is what you want to do, we're going to support what you want to do.
So was that the beginning group, was family and friends?
Correct. Yes.
Nice.
So you mentioned costumes, and I mean, that's something that really sticks out about y'all is the beauty of y'all's costumes.
Oh, thank you.
As I said, we ride right before y'all, and every year I make it a point to get my behind off of the float and come across the street and watch y'all roll right behind us, because y'all have such a beautiful parade.
Thank you.
The way that y'all use, I'm not sure what the terminology for it is, but like that tube lighting going around in the costume.
The light guy calls it neon strips.
Yeah, that's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That was one thing I definitely knew I wanted. We had to have some lights going on at nighttime. So that's one of our other things. Like, would y'all ever ride in the daytime? No.
Yeah.
No.
It's just a different feel altogether.
It is. It is.
I do like a lot of daytime parades, but there's something about the nighttime. It's just everything starts to glow. You can do much more with the floats.
Exactly.
With lighting and everything else.
Exactly. And even in the daytime, you have your floats that you can see in the daytime, but I don't think people really pay attention to the artwork on the float. I do. Other people don't, but they pay attention to the lights on the float.
Yeah.
So that's why I've always preferred the nighttime versus daytime.
Yeah, but I'll say, it sticks out. Even when you go and watch videos of y'all like on YouTube of the parade passing the viewing stands
right by Lakeside.
Yeah, and I mean, it sticks out to where you watch other parades, and they're all beautiful as well, but those lights really stick out, and it's like, wow, and it just enamors me watching it.
Yeah, so that's one of our things. So this year we're trying to do it just a little bit more.
All right.
So it's gonna be really a show this year, our third year. So we gotta really do it. Don't want to outdo ourselves too much, then make it hard for ourselves. But we're gonna try to, always bring something new every year.
So have y'all announced y'all's theme yet for this year?
We haven't officially announced it, but it kind of slipped out. We did give it to Arthur Hardy, and he put it out there, but it's not a dying thing. It is Name That Tune.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so we try to always stick with some kind of musical theme.
Right.
So this year we kind of said I'll kind of keep it kind of simple for myself, creative wise. I was like, name that tune. So I let everybody pick their own. Well, as far as the court, they picked their own songs, and I kind of went off of their songs with the costume design.
Okay, awesome.
It really leaves a lot of flexibility, though.
And that was the other thing. I needed
fun
something with a lot of
with that,
flexibility because sometimes you try to pick those themes and they really kind of cram you in. Even with the floats, it kind of gets you like, well, what am I gonna call this float? You know, so that was like I could kind of do whatever with that thing.
Yeah. So, you know, you said that y'all always pick a theme related to music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something else that sticks out about y'all is the band selection that y'all have. You know, that a lot of the Jefferson Parish parades, you know, one thing that y'all differ with is that y'all bring in the New Orleans bands. You know, for years I've heard the rumor that supposedly, you know, one band felt slighted by the crowds, you know, that, you know, maybe some crowd people were rude to them.
I've heard that too when we first started off. But since we've started, they call me.
Awesome.
They are actually calling to be in the parade. It's like funny because I was like, wait, y'all really want to come out here? They were like, yeah, we'll come to Metairie. So I was like, then I guess another thing that helps us that New Orleans does not do is Rhythm on the Route. It helps us out tremendously when it comes to the bands coming to the city because they know they have a chance of winning the cash prize and the trophy. So they love all that as well. So that really helps us, but it also helps them with, I guess, their extra things that they may need. So they love to come try to get that cash prize.
Awesome. Yes. That's great to hear because, you know, like I said, for years and years, I'd always heard that, you know, the New Orleans schools, somehow they got scared away from the Metairie crowds, and, you know.
Well, I think in general, though, they're going to want to go to the larger crowd. So if there is a spot, you know, and there's a lot going on that Friday.
And I think that's what it kind of was at one time with a lot of the band directors, but a lot of the band directors have now transitioned. They're new band directors. So they're not really into the crowds as much as they're into the money.
Yeah.
It's like, if we're going to bring these kids out here, we need to make sure that the school gets some money if we're going to do this.
Right.
Like, it can't be cheap for it to assemble a band, you know, and bring them out there, busing and all that, and feed them all. I mean, there is some expense to that. Oh, y'all have any particular spots that you prefer to get bands out of, like, say, heavy on New Orleans schools, Metairie schools, kind of?
And for me, I've always loved Mardi Gras. So I've always loved bands. I'm much in the band myself from junior high school to high school. So it's more of I'm looking for the good bands. Yeah. You know, if I can know what the song is you playing from up the street, that's the bands I want to parade because I want the people to understand the same thing. Yeah, I know that song. I heard that song.
Hearing that wall of music coming and it being a familiar song.
Yeah.
You know, that
it keeps people there. And I always tell people.
The most surprising thing at all last year was the size and how good Bonneville's band was all of a sudden last year. I mean, they came out of nowhere. I was like, Jesus, they got good all of a sudden. But not to talk bad about previous bands, but like their numbers were huge, and I was like,
I guess the students, and then some of the students, I guess that's something extra to do. Hey, we don't go march in the parade. We don't have to go to the parade, and I guess some of them feel like they grown, so I don't need to be at the parade catching nothing. I can go march in the parade.
Yeah, and you know, I also marched in a parade, in several parades in high school, and I mean. Sure, it's fun to watch the parade, but you know that adrenaline when you're finishing that end of the parade, you know, and you know even the adrenaline of playing, you know, the band's quote unquote smash hit for the year.
Correct.
You know? As you're approaching, at the viewing stands, and you know on like Severn and the really compacted areas where you've got those big crowds. I mean, that's
when you see your family and your friends,
Right.
that's something else. You start hearing your name.
So a few years ago, we had a bunch of us together, and I printed up flyers. I mean, like 1,000 of them, went and handed them around, and got a whole block to start chanting my son's name, and he was just so embarrassed. It was the greatest father move of my life,
I would have been excited.
He loved every second of it, But he was marching with Holy Cross, and they're pretty good stoic band, and you're not supposed to smile and all this stuff. Well, he was grinning.
Yeah, but that's some bands that I haven't used. So I'm gonna have to contact some of those schools as well.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I know we tried De La Salle, but for some reason they just didn't respond to us.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
I haven't seen one of the Catholic League schools out here in quite a while.
Well, other than
Rummel, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you see Rummel and
maybe
Chappelle.
Well, that's the same crew.
But yeah, Brother Martin you don't see too often, or Jesuit.
Yeah.
I think
that's St. Paul. Come out.
It feels like it's been a while since I've seen St. Paul out here.
St. Paul is a fantastic band.
Correct. All right.
See,
I want to know, Utah.
Yeah. He knows more than me.
Come on in.
He doesn't talk as much, y'all. It's very limited.
Do y'all have any kind of special throws that
Well, one of our special throws is the symphony board.
No, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
They go crazy.
They love our symphony board. So that's something we do have to start putting out there a little bit more, but that is one of our specialty throws, the symphony board. Last year was the socks.
Oh, we love socks.
The first year we actually did the hand drum, but the hand drums, I know for me, it just be time consuming. But we're trying to get back to the hand drums as well. So it'll be the hand drums, the socks, and the symphony board.
Okay.
What is the symphony board?
The candy bar by Hershey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was one of our signature throws as well.
Okay.
Crazy over those.
Yeah.
They really love the symphony board.
They have signs up, and you see some of the kids holding 4 bars in their hands. Like, I got a symphony bar.
It's nice of Hershey to name a candy bar after y'all.
Right.
Yeah, we wish. we just so happened to look up, and I said, "Yo, look." We even gave them a call and let them know, hey, we throw y'all candy bars. Y'all think y'all want to throw us a little sponsorship this way?
Well, I know that just recently y'all had your
coronation.
Yeah.
So we do the summer coronation, and then we have the symphony in January. So to get rid of all this is Miss So-and-so's daughter. She's been going to school we get all that passed in the summertime. Yeah. So when you come in January, you might hear anything.
Yeah.
And that's when we really wear our big costumes and the lights. We really put on a show for the symphony.
Okay.
Y'all make it to quite a few balls, though, huh? Because I remember seeing some of you guys at Excalibur's ball.
Yeah, we went to
We did. We came to the ball and the coronation last year.
Yeah.
So, and by me doing costumes, I pretty much make it to most of them if I can.
Yeah.
I normally go to Namtag, Zulu, Nefertiti.
Do you do Nefertiti?
Yes.
That's one of our favorites. We've been going since the beginning. We're like, it's just getting better.
That's one of my good friends as well.
Yeah.
Zena, I met
that's
her.
A beautiful.
Been knowing her for a minute. Yeah. So
I like the neighborhood and crowd around there is really,
and they have a really good crowd though.
Yeah,
they have a really good crowd. All of even on the West Bank have some really good crowd. That was only one of my issues I was having, I guess, but it's also been cold and rain in the past 2 years, so it kind of messes up the crowd towards the end of the parade. I always start off with a crowd once I'm passing, but like some of my riders to the back, they're like, all the people be gone. I was like, well. First year it was freezing. And last year it was raining. So even though it stopped when we started, but by that time people probably was like, oh, we got to go, it's raining. And it's Friday night, so people come from work, grab the kids. So by the time they're kind of exhausted, but I think they be all right though. We're gonna work on see how this year goes.
How many floats are y'all riding with? Do y'all know?
We have 15, so we'll be back to 15 again this year.
Awesome. Yeah. So at your coronation, who was crowned?
It's a sister and a brother. Well, I'm gonna say a brother and a sister. His name is Tavares Bassett, and her name is Catherine Pruitt.
Okay.
So that is our king and queen for 2024.
Okay.
You'll have any particular way of selecting your king and queen, or is it?
Well, what it is, we do the ledger process where the king puts his name down. He, let us know what year he wants to be king, and then you wait for your time, and then we allow the king to pick his queen if we don't have one for him.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Do y'all have any kind of community events that y'all do?
We did the school drive about a few weeks ago. We had some book sacks and school supplies that we gave out on the West Bank. Think about Orleans Furniture. We were in the parking lot.
Okay.
Some of the barbers came out, gave some of the kids free haircuts. The snowball lady came out. She gave out, we paid for the snowballs, but we gave them to the kids for free.
Yeah.
And everybody just came, picked up a book stack, and drove off. So we had a nice time with that. We was doing Feed the Homeless. Don't know how that's going to go this year because I did see something in the news or article that the president sent to me, and they were saying that the city was trying to stop the feeding of the homeless because of the
the cleanup afterwards.
Correct,
yeah.
and the sanitary problem. So I was kind of saying we'll probably find something else to do other than feed the homeless, or find out another way that we can still do it, because of course they're going to still be out there, so they still need something. Or if we don't do feed them, we at least still do bring out the socks and the blankets and the covers that we normally would do.
Yeah.
And we also do the school supply. not school, Christmas.
Okay.
We normally bring in the toys, but we normally take the toys to another crew, which is either the Krewe of Athena or one of my past queens. She has her own club, so we'll either distribute the toys to either one of those organizations, but we'll collect them.
Okay. That's awesome.
We try to do a little something.
It's very active.
Yes.
How many current members do you have?
Right now, we're probably about 43.
Okay.
Yeah, but we don't include our female riders.
Well, that's very mean of you.
Well, as far as the club is concerned, the group is all males. So we actually, the members are the males, but our riders, we do count them in the book.
Oh, okay. Right.
But as far as our actual members, we have 40.
Oh, I didn't realize you were all male crew.
Yes.
When we first started in 2008, we were co-ed.
Yes. And we kind of considering, I have a few ladies that's been asking me about going co-ed. It's just dealing with females sometimes can be a bit much.
Yeah.
Love them to death.
Comment from me.
Right. Love them to death. But they can be a handful sometimes.
Yeah, understood.
I don't even know. I think they're just lovely. Easy to deal with.
That's a man who doesn't want to sleep on the couch.
Look, I understand.
I don't know y'all talking.
Trust me, I understand. I understand her so well.
So how do y'all go about picking your theme?
I normally pick the theme. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I love Mardi Gras, so I'm always trying to either figure out something new, something different, or something where I can be totally creative.
Okay.
Because it really focuses around the costumes, so I have to make sure it's something that I can really be very creative in.
Yeah. Do you have one particular? You mentioned that your maids basically pick out the theme of their.
Well, the Dukes do.
Oh, the Dukes, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but they pick out the theme of their costume.
Correct.
So long as it goes with the crew theme.
Correct.
Do you have a particular one that, and not to slight any of the others, but do you have one that you feel like most inspired you? That you look at you look back at pictures of that costume and you say like, wow, this is the.
Well, that would be mine from the first.
Yeah.
That would be mine from the first parade. Even though when I was King Athena the first year, that costume was one of my favorites.
Okay.
Since then, I've had several favorites, but my first year on the parade, that was one of my most favorites.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's like the first one in your portfolio.
He moved it.
Yeah, I took the king when I was
right. Yeah,
the new one. No, they actually stands in the house.
Speaking of, I found my little sash from Athena the other day.
Oh, you did?
Yes. Somebody, they were riding by here their first year, and I guess the girl had run out of stuff, and she was like, "Say, hail Athena!" So I was like, "Hail Athena!" And she threw me her sash that she was wearing. So for the next 3 or 4 years, I wore it. And they would like let me up to the front of the parade, and every time I wanted to go get like beer, they would all slide aside and let me in there in a hurry. It was beautiful. So like I was upset when I lost it. I was like, "Oh, where is it?"
That's my girls. That's my women. I love them. See, they over there.
Let's see. What's the date of our parade this year?
February 2nd.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. February 2nd.
It's being worn out. I'm riding the 2nd and the 4th. Riding Carrollton as well.
Oh, you're riding. Okay, so I actually ride Endymion too. So I'm always 2 times.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But Endymion's, I tell people that's my laid back day. You know, I don't have to do nothing but show up.
Endymion's a laid back day. Well, I guess compared to being a captain.
You know, captain and costume person. You know, running to make sure everybody else costumes. If like, well, Athena night I have to make sure that their lights are on. My night I have to make sure our lights are on. And the other night I'm going to the ball, got to make sure everybody's fixed up right. Yeah. So you know, Endymion, I don't have to do nothing but show up. Show up.
Let's see. Do y'all know of any of the bands that y'all are gonna have this year?
Not so sure, but I have a few that they've told me supposed to be in the parade. Yeah. But we normally wait till school gets back in. So school is pretty much back in. We're going into September, so maybe in the next few weeks we'll be sending out those applications, those contracts, to make sure that we lock in those bands that are possible. And I know one of my bands that I'll be losing this year, which is my high school, who normally leads the parade, but I gave them the permission to leave because the Queen of Femme Fatale is also a Kennedy alum, so she wanted them to march at their gala the night of our parade. So I was like, well, I've had them for 2 years. You can borrow them this year. And I normally use them for our ball as well. So they'll be at the symphony. So I was like, I'll use them for the symphony. Y'all can use them for the game.
You had mentioned in January, y'all's is the symphony ball.
Correct. So we normally like to start yes, it's open to the public. It's we like to start off the season. Well, I like to start off the season so I can get my stuff done and out the way, and I don't have to really be worrying about mine. I can just concentrate on the rest of my clients for the rest of the season. So we're normally January 6th right out of the door. We tried. We've done Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Actually, I told myself I wanted to do 12th night, but we just so happened to continue to fall on 12th night. But I don't want to do 12th night anymore. Yeah. So after this year, we're just going to continue to be on January 6th because I thought the Thursday night would have worked. It wasn't bad. You just had more people that felt like I would have came if it was on Friday or Saturdays. I was like, well, okay, we'll move it. So Friday wasn't bad. I just feel like Saturday will give me that one more extra day to do whatever preparation that I need to do versus Friday. And then you still got people getting off of work, trying to rush, get themselves together for the ball versus Saturday. You have most of the day, get yourself together and then come to the ball, have a good time.
So it's not Saturday this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we'll be looking for you all in the building.
Where can people follow y'all online?
Online, www.kreweofsymphony.org. We have an Instagram page and we have a Facebook.
All right.
So you can definitely follow us on all three.
Are there any requirements to, besides the being a man or a male, are there any other requirements to
No, just you just have to be over 21 as far as to be an actual member. But a rider, we do anybody can ride, as long as they're I think the age is 12 and up.
Okay.
Yeah, anybody can ride.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was like by invitation, I mean.
Oh no.
You see that with some of the crews,
Yes. Well, we knew it, so we can't do that just yet.
Yeah.
Not just yet. We get there, yes, we will. Invitation only.
Oh, and as the balloon collectors, I have to ask, do you have any plans on making it to balloon?
I haven't had it yet, but I've seen people ask for them still. Mm-hmm. That was something that, I never was a balloon collector. But I see a lot of people are. So
it's coming back again.
And I'm starting to feel that way. So I say, I guess the people are coming back to the doubloons. The last I remember for doubloons, when you had the 2-piece Popeye's chicken on the back of the everybody wanted a doubloon.
My dad still uses the free oil change ones that were thrown in like the 80s. He still uses them.
Oh, wow.
He goes, turns them in, and they're like, whatever.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so, but we may have to do that. And but I know, I think they told me that was before we came in, that some of the crews were doing something out here where they had, I don't know if it was some kind of doubloon or bead that they had did with some of the businesses out here. But they said they stopped it when we started.
Yeah, it was the year before the COVID interruptions.
Right. It's called Mardi Gras Cash.
That's what I think I heard.
Yeah, and it was just a wooden nickel to where you could bring it to the oil change place, and they might give you $5 off. Okay. You might be able to bring it to Ace Hardware, and they'd give you,
It felt like a good idea. I don't know how many of them
we may have to get back to that. We may have to give somebody a cut. You got a lot of people got Fiery Crab now.
That was the parish had put that on. I don't remember if it was one of Cynthia Lee's things or something, but it was like they had paid for it and gave everybody a bag on the float. And,
Gotcha.
I just don't know how many of them got used.
Yeah, because that's who told me about it when we was at one of the captains' meetings, and I was like, "Well, what happened? Why y'all stopped it?"
I thought it was a great idea. Mm-hmm. I mean, like you said, one of the most classic doubloons that in your memory is the Popeye's doubloon, to where you were catching something that, we always talk about more and more renewable throws.
Correct.
Well, what's more renewable than actual money per se?
Correct.
To where it's worth something to cash it in and get the $5 off at a restaurant or
actually a store. I actually had bronzes of the Popeyes. It's like, why did they make that? That's so weird.
Yeah, but that's something we have to look into. Starting to create doubloons, and it does for people like you. That helps us continue to have history. With people collecting them, and that's something you're gonna always have.
It's a nice group of collectors. Mm-hmm. My dad had always collected. My grandmother collected. I was more of always a coin collector. Mm-hmm. And but over the past few years, I've kind of gotten a little more serious into doubloons, and it's a fun hobby because you just kind of go, you meet up with a bunch of people, you go, oh, did you get that one? No, and then you just swap them out. And
Gotcha.
It's not like a money grab or anything, but
but it keeps
history
going.
It keeps the history and the legacy,
and it keeps Mardi Gras going for a few weeks.
Correct.
Too.
Yeah.
We go to those swaps in the next few weeks after, and everybody's just kind of winding down. And
okay, we'll have to get us some doubloons.
Yeah, get on it.
Get on that. So we can have some doubloons. We could be on y'all card, y'all collector's card.
Yeah, I mean it is a fun hobby, and like you said, to keep the legacy,
Correct.
That's one of the things I like about doubloons is that at the end of the day, when you're leaving the parade, instead of having a garbage bag full of beads, I've got a pocket that's got 5 or 6 things in it,
right.
And it's little coins basically that I can easily keep as a keepsake and remember. Oh, that was a beautiful parade. Oh, that was a fun parade.
That was a fun year, fun night. We had a good So definitely.
Well, I really appreciate y'all coming on and joining us.
Of course. I look to see y'all.
Yeah.
So we have another podcast after.
Yeah.
Talk about what happened.
Right. We had perfect weather.
Right.
Weather. Especially because we ride right in front of y'all, so we want perfect weather. And
Perfect
that's
weather.
how it needs to go. That's really, so long as it don't rain, I'm cool.
And I tell people, I said, if it rain, I say I'm okay with the rain. I say, but I can't do rain and cold.
No.
I did that one time, and I told them, I said, y'all gonna be at the parade by yourself if that ever happens.
Yeah, you'll see you at the grandstand with a big umbrella.
I walked for Zulu in 2014. I think it had to be 30 degrees outside and rain. That was the worst.
Yeah, I remember back that
day.
That was a year back there. That was
awful.
My God.
So I told him I would never do that again. Or if anything, I'll be up there with a raincoat on and a snowsuit.
Yeah.
I had a costume on, trying to still be in the spirit. That was awful. The feathers were looking like dead chickens. We couldn't stay warm because you had on velvet, your thermals was wet,
No.
costume started bleeding on each, so it's blue was black was blue. It was just awful. That was awful. But I tell them, the one thing I said was a memory. I said, but I don't have to go do it again.
Right.
Not necessarily a good memory.
Yeah.
I think that's comedic that Zulu. There was one guy that when he was I think he was Big Shot, and it rained on the parade, and they basically banished him from the crew because they were like, "You were supposed to bring us good luck,"
Yes, the weather is always a big key. A big key. I've gotten wet again. Well, I got wet in Endymions about 2 years, probably right before the pandemic. We got wet.
Yeah.
But it was towards the end of the parade, so I was okay.
As long as it's not sustaining the whole parade, And
we were really almost done. I think I was to Gallia Hall, and that was when they were still going to the Superdome. So I was almost done, but the rain came out and went boom, 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 boom. I was like,
yeah.
The next thing, it came out so fast you couldn't even get no bag to cover yourself. I said, well, whatever now. So you was throwing wet teddy bears and all kinds of stuff. People was looking for umbrellas. I was like, I don't have no umbrella.
I was so excited. I got drenched for Muses last year, and everybody took off, and it was coming down. And they started throwing me towels. I'm like, oh, yeah. So now I have a giant pile of towels. Like, where's my shoe?
And that's one thing about Muses. For some reason, they have been getting wet for the past few.
Oh, yeah, they're...
Yeah,
they've had the no luck there.
But they've had some good. They have had some good runs. So they I guess it's time for them to get wet.
Well, we talked to them, and I think the beginning of the parade stayed dry last year. But where we were, we got drenched.
Where were you all?
We were
right off Louisiana, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. We were a good halfway into.
Y'all be on Louisiana?
Yeah,
Lord.
We go.
We go everywhere. When you catch as many parades as we do,
I'll be trying to stay in the safe zone.
We follow. We'll release a little secret about how we do it. We use the parade trackers, and we see wherever the parade is, and like when there's parades out here in Metairie and then uptown, we'll go and catch Metairie at the very beginning of the parade. And then when we finish up in Metairie, we'll go around the backside of the parade and get on the interstate, and then we'll look at the parade tracker and see where the New Orleans parades are. And if the first parade is pretty much over with, we'll have to miss that parade, but we'll see where that second parade is and get 5 or 10 minutes ahead of it.
Gotcha. We did that last year for Bacchus in Athena. I came out here, watched Athena.
Yeah.
And then we shot from out here, and then we went and caught the middle or the end of Bacchus.
Yeah. But we had done that one year. We came back and saw Napoleon when it was still riding. And I hadn't seen Napoleon in years. And I think, unfortunately, that ended up being there last year.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I was going to say, because I was going to ask, do they still roll? I thought they were.
No,
I thought so.
They had sold all their floats and everything. It was kind of strange how they disbanded. I don't know if they lost their captain or what happened.
Okay.
But yeah, like you heard it disbanded, and then a week
I
later,
think,
somebody.
I want to say not. Don't quote me, but I think that's what happened. I think the captain wound up passing.
Was he a
nobody,
COVID or something? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very sudden.
Yeah.
That was a neat little parade, though, because it was like the horse-drawn sort of wagons and all that. It had its own look. It was a cool parade.
Okay. I've seen a few pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Because I try to go and look at every different parade. If I don't see it in person, I try to go see if I can find it on YouTube or Instagram if they have pages and just go check them out to see what, see what they're doing.
Yeah, like you were saying, how we hit all those parades. I think we get 55 last year we went to.
Yeah, something
we
like
got
that.
everything.
So which ones, because I know a lot of people, like I always ask people if they know certain parades in New Orleans. And they're like, I never heard it. And I'm like, yeah, it rolls. So do y'all catch any of those parades like Okeanis?
Oh, yeah.
Which I know, okay, yeah.
Did we catch Okeanis?
I know a lot of people, they're like, I've never heard of that.
We catch
yeah,
a lot
Bacchus
of
Sunday, we get there at like 4 a.m. We have people who are on the site.
Gotcha.
And,
they send me.
Yeah, we got people on site. And, some of us show up at about 7:15, 7:30.
The crack of 10.
Yeah. And I'm like, don't worry, guys. I got good news for you. I brought biscuits.
Like, all right, well, I'm already on 8 beers and a Bloody Mary, and so the biscuit is right on time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we catch a lot of parades. There's a lot of parades that we catch that there's a lot of people who don't make it to them.
Right.
Because
I used to try to make it to all of them.
Well, we like those little walking cruises and such. A lot of those are a lot of fun. Like tomorrow is Midsummer Mardi Gras. I'll go to that.
Where's that?
It's on
Oak Street.
Oak Street.
Okay.
And it's just a walking parade, but like Krewe puts it on, and they'll get a bunch of the stompers and milkshakers and all those kind of dance troops will join them. It's a fun little parade. It's hot as hell, but
oh yeah,
it's a fun parade. You know?
Oh yeah, it's in the daytime. Oh
yeah. It starts at like
5 or
I
something.
think 5:30.
Oh, that's not that bad.
It's still
like
hot.
12.
It's
12.
Oh no.
Woo.
At 12 o'clock, I would respectfully, I would be like, I hope that y'all have a wonderful parade, but I will not be out there at noon on August 23rd or whatever tomorrow is.
No, it's worth going to though. It brings out a nice crowd, and it's kind of I guess a good dress rehearsal for all the new members of their dance troops and all that stuff.
See if I remember to drop down.
It's a short parade, and I want to say
is it on Oak Street?
Yeah, it starts off basically where the Carrollton Den is. No, I'm sorry. Name that. I can't think of the name of it, but yeah, it's just down there by what used to be the music club.
Maple Leaf.
By the barn, yeah. And then they
What's
just kind of walk down
Maple
there.
Leaf Bar?
Oh, the Maple Leaf.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's like their end spot, and I think they start there and do
it's just a loop,
a 10-block loop or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I could try to check that out.
Yeah. So again, thank y'all so much for coming on.
No problem. Definitely.
Like I said, every year, when we finish up, no matter how tired I am after riding in a parade, I make sure that I'm across the street to see y'all because I enjoy watching y'all so much.
Well, thank you. I'll make sure you have something to see there.
Yeah. So, again, thank y'all. Signing out. We will see you on the route.
That'd be my